only organized foods. I have a question asked to everyone in this week who eat organized food here. What is the what you eat?
I like organic greens. I'm very
Okay. I think everyone don't have eat the organic food before, but do you know what the meaning of organic? Here is the some organic is referred to fresh, locally produced fruit and vegetables. The food coated with medium chemical fertilizers and pesticides. The products are limited to a tiny group of small-scale farmers. Also, the organic label divided and regulated by the US government. The FED, FED, people will go to the farmer to see every step of the farmer to grow the vegetables and fruit, then take the sample back to their company to check it. If they pass, they will give the organic label to their product. Also, organic included a wide range of products. Or anything you eat also can be organic. Here's some picture of the organic food. Here's a big apple. If the food have organized, they will put a label to when they in the shop. They will put the label for organic products. Here's a carrot and vegetables, also put the organic. Here's also a organic food, some nuts, vegetables, and food. US states have a big problem: obesity. The obesity rate in the US state is the highest in the world. Every 3 Americans have 2 are overweight or obese. Do you know why the reason? Because they also eating unhealthy food. They don't have good eating habits and they don't eat enough healthy food. Here is a graph for the World Health Organization. He showed out the 6 top of country, the highest overweight people in the world. Canada, United Kingdom, or Australia, New Zealand. The top is the United States, over to 74%. Here also a graph for the World Health Organization. We saw the BMI, the body mass index. Body mass index is use your weight kg divided by your height m squared to get the percentage to show out your weight with obesity. This is the map for the United States. You see, whole United States is also over than 20% to 25%. In the South, also more than 30%. The normal for the BMI is 50% to 20%. This problem is only for the United States. With China, Japan know this problem. Their graph also only 10% to 20%. Why they are obesity? Because their eating habits have problems. At least 1 in 4 people eat some type of fast food every day. Americans consume 31% more packaged food than fresh food. 20% of all Americans meets and ate it in the car. Americans spend 10% of their income on fast food every year. Here's some picture. Their child, she eat many fast food and some steak. There's very obesity. There's some soft drink, sweets, chocolates, fries, hamburger, pizza, French fries, fried chicken. They are also unhealthy food, but we all eat them every day. What the benefits of the organic food? Organic food less contain pesticides. They are fresh, taste better, and more nutritious. They also locally grow. Each state only sell each state of organic food. The farmer will packing the organic food before they are wet because they will count between 1 and 2 weeks of shipping and selling food. When the customer buy the food, they can eat with good time. The reason why person eat organic food because organic food can fight disease, bacteria, and radicals when it is organic food. Also, the food contains at least 50% more nutrients, vitamins, and nutrients than non-organic foods. Also, the organic foods are lower in fat, in help to fight and provide obesity. Organic food also is a safe path to toxic metals like magnesium, lead, and mercury. It is US government give the label for the organic food. It is organic flowers, organic vegetables, and also the non-flowers. Some you can show here. There's also organic food for this product is our green to gold product for our organic food. Now, I pass the time to my partner to talk about the farming.
So it's a desire for everyone that we all want to have healthy, nutritious food for everyone to eat. And the technology is definitely there, but people can't get it still. There are many problems that occur that makes it difficult for people to obtain healthy food, which is like it's either inconvenient or expensive, inaccessible, or they are unaware of healthier options. These are all problems that are part of what makes the food industry not work as well as it can be, and all of which we believe that Green to Go can solve. Green to Go will be the next alternative to provide an answer to all these problems while being self-sustainable, environmentally friendly, and scalable. Something everyone wants and everyone can get to a town near you. What we will do different. So the biggest issues with the food industry starts from the insane waste and inefficiency that it has. Did you know that nearly 40% of all food in the United States is either thrown out and left uneaten? And it all starts from the farms. So first, when people farm out crops, they always have to sell more than demand, but it also leads to a lot of waste afterwards when they can't sell the food and it rots away. To illustrate this point, a large cucumber farmer estimates that fewer than half actually leave their fields. we all go to the grocery stores. We pick out foods based on how they look, but when we base on how they look, we also don't consider that they are edible by themselves too. And even if they have like a different color or a different size, weight, a blemish, that can all lead to our just not buying it, and that this influences the back end with culling, where they throw out all the foods that don't look good. And continue back to the cucumber farmer, when they sell the food, even though they sell it, 75% of those cucumbers that they sell are culled away, just thrown out. So this is where we step in and try to aid this process and make it more efficient. Where Green2Go will purchase the unharvested crops and crops susceptible to pulling, because they are all crops that we can make to make cheap food for everyone. This waste leads on to distribution issues, where elements throughout the supply chain don't transport as well because there are improper temperatures where the trucks aren't refrigerated well, and they've been like sitting on the loading docks forever, and that just leads to more food being thrown out. And there's issues like rejected shipments where they don't buy it, and then you have to keep transporting it back and forth. Mistakes throughout the distribution, like surplus products where they can't sell it. It's an issue with how we operate as people, getting unable to know for sure how much we want. So we are trying to make this nonprofit work in the food industry with the latest refrigerated trucks, local organic farming partners like the National Farm and Golden Farm, and using jars airtight for fresh vegetables. So how this will work is with vending machines. Vending machines will keep the products stored, refrigerated, and protected for everyone to have. And due to its package, it's quite modular in the way we can distribute to everyone. This will benefit retailers with large packet sizes. Retailers want fresh, ready food, and this will provide fresh and ready to go. And for the consumer, it will raise awareness of the healthier food options, reduce confusion on what to select, and be more convenient. This leads on to how we want to start this here and now in New York City. And this will lead to Tyreek, because this is for the people who need it.
Hi, my name is Tariq. I am a creative consultant of Green2Go. As my job as a consultant, I was to go off and interview the people of New York City, mostly Queens. But not just any people. I was trying to find homeless people, hungry homeless people. See if I can find any stories, anything I can talk about. The thing is, I will tell you some stories, maybe one, but I will not include any names, anything to not conceal any information. started interviewing two. First person I met him on the train. He came here from Nevada. He came around he was in his mid-late 20s. And he's been homeless since 2006. So if you want a good guesstimate, I would say he was about 14. As a question for everyone around you, what are you guys doing when you're 14 years old? Anyone? There's no round answers too. Yes, you raise your hand.
No.
Anyone?
Home.
No one.
Yeah, just playing tag.
Anyway, when he was about 14, he got kicked out of his uncle's house. I asked him when he told me after that he became homeless. I asked him why didn't he just go anyone else? He said his mother passed away and he had nowhere else to go. I asked him, the next question obviously was, why did he get kicked out? He told me because he admitted that to his uncle that he was gay. And nobody in his household wanted a gay child at all. So he just went off to being homeless from there. He told me the reason he got kicked out was he was gay. And then I asked, so let's fast forward to 2007. That was 2006, this is 2007. Now he's in New York, where he discovered a gay community, a place where he can belong, a place with other people that have the same interests as him. He told me that he was excited to meet new friends, meet new people, new colleagues. And he did. That's what he did. And then he also told me at the same time he regretted ever coming to this community. Why? Why did it? And then he told me, blah, blah, blah. After a while, one of his friends introduced him to another coworker. Not a coworker, but a friend who had some sort of work. And he finally found a job. But he found some sort of line of work, which was sex work. That's what he found, instead of anything else. So about 15, about to be 16, this man, not even a man yet, a child, is already started to be a gay child prostitute. He told me it was out of desperation. He told me, and I quote, I was homeless and hungry, so I had sex with people to get money for food and a place to stay. That's how it all began, for food and a place to stay. But he told me it never crossed his mind that was sex work. It was just simple work. Basically, on a day-to-day basis, what he did. That was his regular line of work. Eventually, not too sure, but he told me that it was just, eventually not too sure, but told me that he was HIV positive, eventually after a few months in this line of work. Most of his clients almost never use condoms. That's probably the reason why he got it. And then I bring up this testimonial to tell you about the growing homeless epidemic growing in the U.S. It's becoming a major problem at the moment. I will now introduce you to our executive and colleague, my colleague, who will be able to provide us with services, data, numbers, statistics of people that are in need of help.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for such a great insight story. Well, I want to talk about who are the people who are going to be able to get this type of help. So we have people who commit suicide. We have people who are living in poverty, people who are homeless, and also we have people who are getting help from the state. But first off, I want to see how many people are living currently in New York City. But like we said, we are focusing only in Queens. So we have about 2.296 million people. People who commit suicide, they usually do it for there's several types of things, but the main three reasons are eating disorders, unemployment, and financial problems. So eating disorders, it mostly happens when, if they're feeling like sad, maybe happy, maybe just depressed, or just nothing at all, they usually tend to eat. It can be any time, any day. They just eat whatever they have. and that's when they become to, get overweight, and then like they get depressed because of being overweight, but they don't realize that eating causes them to become overweight. So they just become depressed and they start eating again, and that's how it keeps going. It's a cycle that doesn't end. We have to ask ourselves: is it the problem of the individual, the person, or is it society? Why? Because people says all the time, oh no, if you go to school, if you educate yourself, you're going to be able to have a higher income, and then you're going to be able to buy whatever you want, healthy food. Because if we look at the prices of food, healthy food is more expensive than just regular food. You can get a bottle of water for $2, and in any other restaurant, and then you have a soda, which is like some of them are $51. There's a big difference. So you go to McDonald's, there's one hamburger that is gonna be $1, and then if you try to get a salad, it's how much? $6, $7. And we look at how many people doesn't have a degree, and it's the 19%. 19%. We have high school who has people who has a high school or GED, 29%. Associates, college, 22%, and a person who has a bachelor or something higher, such as PhD, a master's degree, they're 30%. So, somebody who's low income, earns at least from $15,000 to $19,000 a year. And where the money goes, we have hired one of Chase has helped us to hire somebody to do this survey in Queens specifically, so that people have filled it out, and this is where they came up with where their check goes. Food, they spend about 10% of it, 10% of their check in food. They spend about 30% in housing, rent, stuff like that. Clothing, stuff like that, they also spend like about 5%, and then like the rest of it will go to insurance, transportation, and stuff like that. People who are living in poverty. We have people who are under 18, and we have about 460,155. People who are over 25 and are living in poverty, 1,581,000. And as you can see, it goes more and more. And all over, we literally end up with such a higher number. And this is how it looks like. People who are living in poverty with their degrees or without degrees. So it should be the blame to society or to the individual for not getting his education and become somebody, because we live in a hierarchy class. In February 2016, there are where 60,410 people in Queens homeless, and they include as well families, which are the 23,783 children, and that they're sleeping in the city in shelters with their families, mothers, fathers, and whoever is related to them as a third legal guardian. The government have programs such as the SNAP, when they're able to give them cards with money so they can spend in food, just food at all. And just in Queens, we have about 262,587 people who are in this program, which is telling us that how people are going to be able to be healthy, active, if they're not being able to have the opportunity to do it. Why? Because we live in a society that at the end of the day, everything else is becoming expensive, and including food, and the things that are cheaper are the junk food that are not good to people in general. So this is something that is just more than just people. This is not numbers. This is not just about data. We are human beings, and so just human beings, we should be helping everybody. For example, we had Tariq, our consultant, who went to the streets, who went to other organizations to talk to people who are suffering from homelessness and hunger at all. What they had to do. They had to even do things that they're not really want to do it, but they're kind of forced to do it because they don't want to die of hunger. People who do it because they want to eat, who want to survive, and even though there's some people who do whatever they had to do to support their loved ones. With that being said, I would like to introduce our treasurer, who would like to talk to you about how are we going to spend our money.
Okay, so we've seen some great stuff here today. What we want you to take away from this is that we're trying to strive for something that can change the way that society looks at food and how they get it. We represent a brand from JP Morgan and Chase, the JP Morgan Electronic Financial Services Inc., and they administer half of all the state's EBT programs. And basically, if we're successful with our business Green to Go after a year, they're going to fully support our program, just as they've done for programs such as Year Up, Youth Build USA, Women Like Us, and Jobs for the Future. We want our prices for the products that we're administering from the vending machines to be as simple as as the ingredients. Kwai stated that all the food that we're going to be using is organic. All the meals that we plan to make are fresh and they're organic. And this is how it's going to be priced. The small jar out of the vending machine that Misana showed you is going to be $150, and a large jar is $250. And I know those prices sound crazy, but it's only because of that. It's only because that we're partnering with National Farms Wholesale and Golden Earthworm Organic Farms. That they're located in Queens, and we're buying their crops at half the price because they're crops that were culled and things that they over-harvested that they can't sell anymore, and that's why we're able to price it for so low. But we're not going to be able to do this without all of your help today. We plan to administer our vending machines in the poorer areas of Queens. So the building in Long Island City is going to be $2 million, and we chose a location in Long Island City so we'll be able to oversee all of the vending machines that are going to be located in Rockaway Park, Jamaica Queens, Cambria Heights, Albans, Elmhurst, and Corona. Those are the poorest areas in Queens, and so buying it in Long Island City made sense. And then we need about $100,000 for utilities, and we're going to need we have to pay property taxes and license to sell food to the people, and for our own, we're not getting any money because we represent JP Morgan and Chase, and so we're getting paid from them. But this is for the staff and the people preparing the food and the people driving the trucks. We have 10 trucks, and each truck we have 10 trucks, and we have 30 vending machines, and we have 30 vending machines in total, and we're gonna each area that I mentioned to you is gonna have about 6 vending machines, and we need $30,000 for advertising, and the food for 1 year, if we're successful, is to buy from the farms is going to be about $1 million because they're so the price is so reduced, and because the price is so reduced, and we wanted you guys to understand that that even though we are a startup business, that we're not taking any of the profit directly. JP Morgan is not taking any of the profit directly. We're just trying to better society. So, I mentioned we hope that we'll be able to fight obesity by encouraging people to eat healthier, and we don't believe that you should have to choose between paying your light bill or eating a meal or feeding yourself because food is so expensive. And the jars of food, a large jar is about 50 to 60 ounces, so that's for all that was in the jar, it was a pretty good sized meal for the price. And we believe that we'll be successful if you all decide to invest the $5 million into our company for a year.
And I would like to add that we all think about global food system. We also have to think and consider many things. We Green to Go are ready to start working on the ground, kitchens, farms, spaces, and fields. We are ready to bring solutions to this present issue on food and agriculture. This innovative idea is not new at all. There are several cities working with vending machines, and as we mentioned, Chase P. Morgan is partnership with us, willing to pay $3 million for our own income, and we have many other organizations that are also trying to get involved with us. We're not looking to just stay in Queens, or we're not looking just to do this for a year and 2 years. Yes, we're looking for 1 more year to see how things are going, but we are hoping our future is to expand not just through the state, but also to expand through the whole country. Thank you so much for your attention.
I have a question.
Yes.
I may have missed it because I was in and out. With the food being organic food that does not have pesticides to allow it to have a longer shelf life, have you guys considered the turnaround times that you're going to be going to these vending machines and taking out? And then what? I'm finished.
Oh, sorry.
What will you be doing with that food that expired out of the vending machine? Will you be wasting it, or will you be donating it to a local shelter or something?
Once the food is expired, we can't sell it anymore because that's unsafe. What he was talking about was not. He was talking about damaged produce. So, like, if an apple is bruised, they think that it's not going to sell, so they don't sell it. And that's what we're talking about. If it's expired, we can't sell it. But they're not preserved properly in the supermarkets. They're just out there, and with our trucks and with the vending machines, because they're the latest model. That's why they're so expensive. They're going to preserve the food for much longer, and because it's such a fair price, we expect that it's going to sell really fast. So we're only going to change out as much as we need to because we don't want to waste products. So if it has to be daily, if it sells out that fast, we'll do it. If it's weekly,
I don't mean with the items that are being sold. What are you going to be doing? Because when you go to a supermarket, right, and you're looking for, like, say, some kale greens, they don't even go around the supermarket and dump it. Sometimes you go to the supermarket and you're looking for kale that's green and it's all yellow and brown looking. And that could be non-organic, which, is sprayed with a pesticide. It has a longer shelf life. Organic food isn't sprayed with anything, so it doesn't have a longer shelf life. So say your machine has the salads available for 3 days, and then on the 3rd day, you have to chuck it. Are you going to have an arrangement rather than to waste food to then take these foods that are going to expire and you're going to dump to maybe a facility that you could give it away for free?
Okay.
So in the budget, we're about to spend $300,000 on employees, and we talk about this about how often are we going to change the food? How often are we going to be checking in? And we are approximately the budget that we are asking for it's going to also contribute to more budget, to have more staff, and to make sure that it's daily, that we're checking at the machines. There are only 10 machines in different countries, so it will be easier. But also to add to that, and we are also looking at the consideration of if the food is about to expire within the next 3 days, we will be able to donate it to local shelters.
He also talked about the sell-by dates being wrong in the supermarkets. That's why people don't buy them. That's why we don't include that on the jars of our food. And you're talking about it expiring, which is possible, but we don't think it's likely because of the temperatures of the vending machines. It's almost close. It's not frozen, but some of the salad, the fruit bowls parts, they're almost frozen. So it could last longer.
So you're selling you're gonna have a different variety of food. It's not just like organic salads.
We have, everything's gonna be organic, but we have such as breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay, so then you're considering the different variations of temperatures that require.
That's why there's
multiple machines.
Any other questions? No?
All right, let's give
Thank
you
you.
a round of applause. All right. Okay.